They always said the suburbs were safe. Quiet streets, smiling neighbors, white picket fences. But what if I told you that, for over 40 years, a man lived among them, watering his lawn, waving to children, going to the store, and at night, slipping into homes with a knife and a mask? He wasn't just a killer. He was a husband, a father, a police officer, and he became one of the most terrifying serial predators in American history. This is the story of Joseph James DeAngelo, the man the world would later name the Golden State Killer. He didn't start with murder. Number. He was patient. In the mid-1972, in a place called Rancho Cordova, California, he began with small things, peeking into windows, stealing small items, leaving strange signs. They called him the Visalia ransacker at first. He'd break into homes, rummage through underwear drawers, scatter belongings, but rarely take anything valuable. It felt personal, like a warning. Then he escalated. 1976, Sacramento County. A woman is alone at home. It's a warm night. Windows open. She hears a click. Then a beam of light pierces the darkness. She wakes to a masked man in her bedroom. He ties her with shoelaces. He whispers, threatening her. And then he rapes her. She reports it. Police are baffled. No fingerprints. No witnesses. No motive. But 2 weeks later, another woman reports the same thing. Then another and another. By the end of that year, 10 women had been attacked in their homes, all in the same way. And the man would later be called the East Area Rapist. He studied his victims, broke into homes days before the attacks to unlock doors or hide shoelaces. He would call them before the night, breathing heavily. Sometimes he'd call after just to say, "Remember when I said I'd be back?" It wasn't just about control. It was about fear. Deep, psychological terror that lingered long after he was gone. And when he started attacking couples, it became even more twisted. He'd break in with a gun, tie the man up, stack dishes on his back. "If I hear these move, I'll kill her," he'd say. Then, while the man lay frozen in terror, he'd drag the woman into another room. And for hours, he'd do unspeakable things. The police were overwhelmed. They had no leads, no suspect, no clue who this ghost of a man could be. He vanished into the night each time, leaving behind nothing but pain and silence. Then suddenly, in 1979, he disappeared. Some hoped he died. Others feared he'd just moved. They were right to be afraid. But he didn't stop. He just changed names and methods. Southern California. Early 1982, a new phantom appears. Married couples begin to die in their homes tied up, bludgeoned to death, sometimes with objects from their own living rooms. The woman was always raped. The man was always beaten first, sometimes forced to listen, and then both were left, posed, displayed. Detectives called him the original Night Stalker. Same method, same rage. But somehow, even more brutal than before, and yet no one connected the dots. Different police departments, different jurisdictions, no DNA, no internet, just fear and red pushpins on maps. While the media focused on other killers, Bundy, Dahmer, Gacy, this one slipped quietly under the radar. He didn't want fame. He wanted control. Then he vanished again, mid-1986. His last known murder was in one 8-year-old girl named Janelle Cruz. He beat her so badly, her own mother couldn't recognize the body. And then, silence. For decades. The trail went cold. The files gathered dust. The survivors lived in fear. They got strange phone calls sometimes with nothing but breathing. Or a whisper, "I haven't forgotten about you." But no one was ever arrested. For 30 years, the Golden State Killer was a ghost, a legend, a nightmare mothers whispered about. And then, DNA changed everything. In 2016, investigators turned to something new: genetic genealogy. They took DNA from old evidence and uploaded it to a public ancestry database. Not to find him directly, but to find his relatives. And they did. A few second cousins. Then a family tree. Then a name. Joseph James DeAngelo. Former cop. Served in the Navy. Worked in a grocery store warehouse. Married. 3 daughters. Lived quietly in Citrus Heights, California. No one suspected a thing. Until the 24th of April, 2018. When police knocked on his door and took him away. He was 72 years old. He didn't say a word at first. Just looked at them with cold, dead eyes. But when police left the interrogation room for a moment, the hidden mic picked up something chilling. He spoke to himself. And he said, "I did all those things. I didn't have the strength to push him out. He made me. He's inside me." Like there were 2 people inside him, the friendly neighbor and the monster. He pleaded guilty to 13 murders and dozens of rapes. But the true number of his victims may never be known. Many never reported. Many never survived. At his sentencing in 2020, survivors stood and spoke. One woman, trembling, looked him dead in the eyes and said, "You left me alive, but you never took my soul." And DeAngelo? He sat motionless. No apology, no tears. Just an old man in a wheelchair, wearing a mask. He will die in prison. But the damage he caused, the lives he shattered, the fear he planted in entire neighborhoods will echo for generations. He was the face of pure evil, hiding in plain sight. A man who wore the mask of normalcy for decades, and behind it, a monster who waited for nightfall. This was the Golden State Killer. He lived among us, and we never saw him coming.